Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about what are ratios. And a ratio is a comparison between two things. Now we have two different ways to think about this. We can do part to part or we can do part to whole. And we're going to be talking about that as we go through our slides. So our first slide is understanding what really are ratios and how do I write them. And I want you to remember that order in ratios, it matters. Okay, so let's take a look at our problem. In a bag, there are 5 red marbles, and maybe if it would help you to use colored pencils, let's circle it in red, and we have 7 blue marbles. And again, I'm going to circle that in blue. So now, the words matter. The order of the words matters because it depends on what number I put first. So the first one we have are blue marbles. So I'm going to skip the using words because we're going to talk about this going through. But with blue marbles, I have 7. So we're going to list that 7 first. The next thing you know is we're going to use a colon. When I see the colon, I say the word 2. All right. Now we also have red marbles. So we have 5 red marbles. Okay, so we have 7 to 5. You could write that down using words. This would be a part to part. Red to blue, okay? As we write it as a fraction, you're going to write the 7 first, and then we're going to put the 5 below. That's how you would write it as a fraction, okay? Let's try our next one. We have the red marbles. So I have 5 red marbles, so let's put that first. And we can also add that as a fraction, okay? To the total number of marbles. Now I'm going to do that one in purple. So total 7 plus 5 would give me 12. So I'd have 5 to 12 or 5 over 12 as a fraction. Now this would be an example of a part to whole. Total tells me I'm using a whole. Okay, let's try our next one. I have total number of marbles, which would be 12, to how many blue marbles? Notice I'm circling words as we move through, and I have 7 blue marbles. So we read that as 12 to 7. And as a fraction, I'm going to squeeze it in over here. I have 12 to 7. Okay? All right, so order matters. Okay, it depends on what comes first, and that's the first number that you put. Okay, let's try another slide. All right, so here, I'm going to see if I can move this toolbar up here. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. So Michael has some art supplies, okay? And with those art supplies, we see that he has 3 different kinds. He's got highlighters, he's got colored pencils, and he's got crayons. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to figure out how many of each are to the part. So I think I'm going to choose a blue for colored pencils. Okay, so whenever I see colored pencils, I'm going to do it with blue. So let's count how many colored pencils I have. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to write down 6. And then I'm going to choose another color, maybe pink this time, to highlighters. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 highlighters. Okay, so we have 6 to 4. That would be an example of a part to part. Okay, let's do our next one. So here I have art supplies. So that I'm going to say green. Art supplies are all of them, right? So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 total art supplies. 2, now we have highlighters again. So I'm going to use the same color, my pink, and I see that there are 4 highlighters. This would be an example of a whole to part or part to whole. Okay, so we have 15 to 4. Okay, our next one, we have crayons. Let's choose orange. Okay, here we go. Crayons. So for crayons, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 crayons. And now we're looking for art supplies. So my art supplies were in green. And I know that if I go back to find the green, there were 15, 5 to 15. Okay. Next, we have crayons to colored pencils. Let's see if you can do that one on your own. Okay, so you should have come up with 5 to 6. Okay, how about colored pencils to art supplies? Try that one. And if you found 6 to 15, you are correct. Then we have art supplies to crayons. Try that one. So this would be the whole, which was 15, to part. How many crayons did I have? I had 5. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the hang of it. Just remember, a couple of reminders. Order matters, okay? And making sure that we determine whether it is part to whole or part to part. Okay, let's try our next slide. Nope. Okay, so here we go. We have to figure out using some word problems whether or not, or how to write this ratio, okay? So we have 8 out of 10 teachers. 8 out of 10 teachers give homework. The ratio of teachers who give homework, which would be 8, to who do not give homework. Now, if 8 out of 10 give homework, how many don't give homework? And we know that there are 10, 8 give homework. That means that 2 do not. So we have 8 to 2. Okay, let's try another one. 7 out of 18 classmates are on Ella's soccer team. So we're looking for the ratio of classmates not on Ella's soccer team. So let's start there. So if 7 out of 18 are on the soccer team, that means how many are not on the soccer team? So you should find out that that is 11. Okay. 2, the number of classmates on Ella's soccer team. Well, we know that there are 7 there. So this ratio would be 11 to 7. Okay, let's try another one. Out of 25 students, that's the total, that's the whole, who passed the test or who took the test, 21 passed. So now we're looking for the ratio of students who didn't pass. Well, if 21 passed, how many did not pass? 4 is your answer, okay? To the students who took the test. So this is the whole. How many students overall took the test? And we know that that is 25. So we have 4 to 25. And again, if circling, underlining, highlighting, whatever it is can help you, great. Okay, let's try our last one. Okay, there are 5 white buttons in a bag of 19. So I have a bag of 19, and out of those, there are 5 white. What is the ratio of white buttons? Well, we know that. That is 5 to the buttons that are not white. So we have to decide how many buttons are not white. So now you're going to take that 5, and we know that there are 14 buttons that are not white. So we'd have 5 to 14. Okay? All right. Our last page that we're going to look at is this next one. So we really have to do some matching here. The ratio of teachers to boys, and I know you can see it on your sheet, but on the screen, you get a beautiful picture of me. There are 11 teachers, so let's write 11 underneath. 11 teachers. 2 is where my colon comes in, to 28 boys. So 11 to 28, this one is going to match down here. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. The ratio of boys, and there are 28 boys. 2 is where I put my colon. 2 girls, there are 34 girls. So I have 28 to 34. That one comes over here. Okay, the ratio of girls to teachers. So I've got 34 girls to 11 teachers. So we're going to take this one and we're going to match it here because remember the colon means the word to. Okay, the ratio of children to teachers. So our first job is to find out how many children I have. So I want you to pause the video now and figure out how many children there are total. Okay, so as we come back, you know that there were 62 children. To how many teachers? 11 teachers. So I have 62 to 11. Okay, our last one. The ratio of boys to people in the auditorium. So this is the part to whole. Okay, we have 28 boys to how many people in the auditorium? We know that if we add all of those numbers up, we get 73. Okay, so now is your turn to practice. I'm going to tell you